whatever you're doing, make sure you do it right, especially when it's called social media marketing. Talking about that, there is one company doing it really right, and this company has literally reinvented the digital talent management experience with integrity, transparency, and a human touch. Spending time with us, as I always like to say, usually it always starts from the top down. We've got the founder here with us, Kyle Hjelmeseth. Good morning, Hjelmeseth. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Aaron, thank you for having me.
No, thank you, Kyle. I apologize on the last name. Out of curiosity, where does that name originate from?
It's Norwegian, so I think with any Scandinavian name, there's no apology necessary ever.
Well, still, well, you know what? I love I've always wanted to go to Scandinavia. Any tips for the average traveler?
Well, actually, it's funny. I've never been there myself, but I would say dress warm.
Got it. Okay. Which I think we're going to get kind of a cold weather here. Not as cold as Scandinavia, but hey, let's jump into this. You obviously created this company with the thought of not just helping other people out, but obviously, I think I love your main headline there with integrity, transparency, and a human touch. Getting into this business, you obviously saw that was sorely lacking in other management companies. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure you know a lot about this yourself, Aaron, in terms of, the talent management side of things, working with agents and talking to, these types of industry people. It's often, I think, especially in pop culture, if you look at pop culture reference, you look at the world of talent management through the lens of Entourage, and shows like that or movies like that, you think, wow, these people, they drive hot cars, they do a lot of drugs. It's just not fabulous place to be.
Right.
And I got in, in a really organic way. My now wife was my first client.
Sweet. Smart.
Yeah, very smart. I always tell in any interview or any conversation about this, it's like, listen to your significant other. They are probably steering you in the right direction.
True.
She was really, really, she thought I'd be a great fit for starting a company in this lane of talent management, just because I had this level of care and concern about the individual that wasn't really out there. And I think, in building a company, as you were saying, from the top down as the founder of the company, the ethos, pervades, or hopefully, whatever I'm bringing is going to, trickle down through my employees, and everybody kind of carries this flag now of like, we're here to protect the talent. We're here to, be, by their side and really make sure they're the ones that shine. And we're not, supposed to be driving around in hot cars if they can't even eat. So we've got a totally different rhyme scheme than what's out there currently. And we're really successful. So I'd call that a reinvention.
Kyle, look, you hit me on several very important notes of what you just said. You said even, and this is interesting, because I have seen those in the acting world, the music world, even the Instagram influencer. And I have unfortunately seen a dichotomy that a lot of people would be surprised at. You mentioned like driving a car that they cannot eat, right?
Yeah.
The reality behind the scenes, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, although you may be someone in the biz, there is a level of percentage of those barely making ends meet. And some will take whatever they can get, and then some pretend to be all that, but they're barely putting food on their own table or in their own stomach.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're driving around looking good when you step out, but you're stepping out of a Honda Accord. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's the perception versus reality thing.
Well, I've seen people drive around with like a Rolls Royce, but they're living out of it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. Of course. No, definitely know what you mean. It's really interesting, and I think a lot of that. I think that's what's actually liberating about social media is that you do have that in social media for sure. It's those that, because we're just we're seeing everything through the lens of Instagram or YouTube or whatever. They can carefully craft and curate what that look is. But I think the great thing about social media influencers is that there are so many that don't curate to the point where they're just living this fabulous life that nobody else can achieve, but they really share with their communities what it's like to live like them every day, whether that's out of the car, a normal house with a normal family eating, Wheaties in the morning or whatever. I mean, I
Right.
just like myself by saying Wheaties, but that's the real shift in celebrity in a sense, and what celebrity is, and the power there is really shifted to your everyday normal person, and it's
Right.
just about the story they tell now, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Well, and Kyle, you specialize in a lot of different industries, or do you focus on a select few?
That's a great question. I think, when I first got into managing social media talent or digital talent, my first, as I mentioned, my wife was my first talent, and she is really just a well-known name in the fashion circle. And I mean, obviously, I'm going to say a lot of great things about my wife. She's beautiful. She floats. She's
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. And so when I started working with her, it was through mostly the fashion industry. And fashion is by far and away the largest spender when it comes to influencer marketing, because your fashion decisions, your decision on what you're going to wear is something that can be influenced every day. It's something that changes every day, and you can influence it every day. And other categories don't have that same level of, okay, I can influence a decision about this category every day. Food a little bit, beauty a little bit. Those are kind of like second and third behind fashion. So it was mostly fashion, but I really saw the need to diversify away from just fashion stories, very early on in my career in this lane, because people just want to know, more about like the person's into, what is their beauty routine, what are they eating, where are they eating, all these different things that make up what we more broadly call lifestyle now.
Well, Kyle, look, I know you're being kind of humble right now because you haven't done what typical people do, which is throw out a bunch of names. But can you talk about, because I'm looking at your website right now, which if anybody's tuning in right now, you can go check it out, gb-dm.com. And what I'm seeing right now are some pretty big names. I understand there's a Halle Berry around as well that you may or may not have, you can claim or not claim that you've worked with her in the past.
Well, okay, no, I would love to, just to talk about that, because I don't personally work with Halle Berry, but there is kind of an exciting announcement that we just made that it has that connection that you're talking about. So, I mean, if you look at our roster, and for those who are not familiar with social media talent, as an example of some of the people we work with the Clements twins, which are they're widely regarded, widely known. If you Google the most beautiful twins in the world, the Clements twins are like the only thing that comes up. And they've got 2 million followers, just a really exciting, up and coming, set of twins from California. But these social media personalities, they've got everyday names. And I think that's what's exciting about them. They're everyday people that just have amassed massive followings. So you've got people like that. And then we also work with interesting individuals like Phaedra Parks from, the Real Housewives. There's a lot of names. Jeremy Stenberg is a huge guy in the motocross world, very famous in the motocross world. He's on our roster. And David Hunt is a huge guy in the esports world. He's on our roster. Liv Lowe Golding is huge in the health and fitness world. And she's on our roster. Halle Berry, the reason that I think that came up is really funny, and I'd love to clarify that. So we just actually signed on as our lead advisor for the company, a woman who basically built this industry. Her name's Kendra Bracken Ferguson. She founded, the original digital talent firm in 2010, which is called Digital Brand Architects. She's since left, and now she's our lead advisor, and she started a bunch of other companies. But she's the Halle Berry connection because they are business partners on a couple different endeavors. So,
and you know what? I always say that's important in this industry that everybody's in. Look, I've been in media for the last, honestly, strongly, the last 8 years. Are you right? On radio, doing little stunts on local television stations, but more of my content lives online. And I believe that the reality of and I've always preached and taught this to other people. I've always said, be online and diversify yourself in such a way that you never know what platform's suddenly going to die. Remember back in the day, we had, Vine. Remember the Vinesters?
Oh, yep, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money after that. They put all their time and energy in that. Now we've got TikTok, which a lot of people are wondering what's going to go on with China and the U.S. Look, I got questions. We have a hard break. Can I keep you for another like 8 minutes or so? I feel like I have more questions that you need to answer.
Let's go.
All right. We've got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Again, if you're just joining us, we got for all the way from G&B Digital Management. We've got Kyle over here who knows what he's talking about. Kyle Hjelmeseth. We'll be right back with more. It's Scandinavia. Scandinavia's got me up the wazoo. We'll talk about that right around the corner. We'll be right back. We got from G&B Digital Management, Kyle Hjelmeseth joining with us right now. And Kyle, we kept you over the break for a reason. With so many different advantages of being able to listen online, watch online, and do all this stuff, I got to ask you, where is your main bread and butter? Is it like still in magazines? Is it on television? Is it online?
Yeah, great question. You brought this up before the break, Aaron. The digital world is where we should be, moving our eggs, in terms of that basket. Now, there's a lot of different platforms within the digital world, but, online is where to be. Of course, we could always break out what's hot right now in that online world and what's effective. But yeah, got to move your money until, with the future, I guess.
Well, and it's important. Look, sometimes I get people every now and then that go, oh, that person's not being genuinely sincere. They're getting bought off by a brand. And I say that's been since the beginning of advertisement. Many people don't often know whenever there's a person driving a vehicle that's a high-end like celebrity, like back to Clark Gable and the days of yesteryear, right? Movies had what's called product placement, right? But nowadays, product placement has morphed into something that's called something entirely different. Can you kind of add some clarity to that statement?
No, I think that's an amazing question for your listeners, Aaron, because, yes, you're right. If you look at anybody who is doing celebrity endorsements, you kind of give celebrities, I think, a pass for doing endorsements because they're celebrities, and you kind of understand that they're getting paid to do that. With influencers, there's been some backlash.
Right.
We're talking social media people that just seem like everyday normal people. Okay, I know that they're getting paid to promote this. I think it's a great topic to really dig into because with influencers, what everybody doesn't see, I guess in the forefront, because obviously everyday people aren't reading the contracts that I read. Influencers, by and large, are required to try the products, to actually use the product. Even if they're getting, a few $1,000s, whatever the contract might be,
right,
in order to put that on their Instagram account, there is this there is an urge, and it's required, kind of the pressure's there because of these communities of people that are around the influencer to actually get an authentic review, to have the person, the influencer, show how to use it. You don't get that a lot with celebrity endorsements like you were talking about, but with influencers, you see how to use it. They're required to, have some knowledge about what they're talking about. And you get that through trying it before you're actually putting it on your channel. So that's actually required in a lot of contracts, that there's a real affinity, a real knowledge behind the product that you didn't have in the celebrity endorsement game.
Well, and I'm not going to lie. I've been approached by so many different companies just wanting, a quick shout out or a quick little they'll give you something for free. And I always say to other people, that's good, all well and good. It's fun to get stuff for free. But if you're putting your own reputation on the line and you're also you're doing a lot of the content creation, let's face it, or you're building, it's really like a mini business, right? Sometimes influencers, the very high ups usually understand that by there and then. But what I'm talking about is like the ones with under 100,000, right? That don't realize free is good, but it's better to get paid for it, and then at the same time you can't live off of free products. Like financially, I've seen so many influencers go by the wayside because they're so used to getting free stuff, and they give a shout out, they give maybe a click or a link, but then let's face it, they can't eat it.
Right. Yeah, we say that all the time. It's like, we can't eat your sweater. I love the free gift. Like you were just saying, hey, it's like, definitely appreciate when there's a barter there. But I think that's where, we come in as a talent management agency, is to really help that conversation evolve. So we understand, the value of the product and, why it's interesting or whatever. But if you want my person to get involved and really put the content production behind it, get some money behind actually allowing this person to produce content, to take the photos, to make the video, there's got to be a dollar exchange there, to really just even support the content creation. But then, beyond that, it's like, you're absolutely right. You can't eat a sweater. You can't build a business that way. It's fun for a little while, but like you said, if that's the way that you really build your business, is through that receipt of gifting, and you don't pay attention to the business,
right,
side of things, it will go by the wayside.
Well, and again, I know people that do it on their own. I one time I got hired, honestly, by a film that needed a lot of exposure. Okay, and they gave me a budget, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't envy your job, because I reached out to some. These are people I've had on the show in the past, and one of them had like a family friend. I think it was her boyfriend, to be honest. And he came at me with such a weird, odd dollar amount. I'm like, I already know the going rate of your ladies, like social media. That's way outrageous. And honestly, I think if I would have just spoken to her, I probably would have gotten at least some like better realistic numbers. But here's the reality. You are the middleman or middlewoman for your clients. And why is that so important rather than doing it themselves?
On their own.
Yeah.
Another great question. So, with the influencer industry, there's an estimate that over, I would say, like 88 to 90% roughly of influencer talent out there don't have representation. There's so many things that can go wrong. So many, there's all these offers coming over email. You already spoke to it, like a brand reaching out to say, hey, we'll gift you something. We'll give you this in exchange for.
I get that all the time. I just got it from a backpack company. I'm like, okay. It's a cool backpack.
But there's stipulations involved with that barter, and a lot of times, especially nowadays, to protect themselves, these brands or agencies that are reaching out are always forcing a contract. And if you've got, hundreds of thousands of potential influencers out there who don't know anything about legal language in a contract, that leaves themselves open up, for a lot of liability. And I think that's where it's really important for an influencer who's serious and growing and making money and establishing a business. Either they should find, legal representation and help to be able to parse these contracts and things like that. Or, when you get to a certain level, then you start to work with a management company to kind of like take care of all of that. Working with a management company like us is about us reading those contracts so that the talent doesn't have to, making sure that it's fair for all sides. We do the negotiation to make sure that everybody's getting what they want out of the deal. It's just taking care of all those little things that an individual out there doesn't have the bandwidth for, doesn't have the connection for, or the training, to really look at.
Well, and obviously, okay, so the top question at the end of the day is, why would a brand especially want to work with your company? Because from what I understand, the brands are very happy with using your management company. And that's, at the end of the day, the one paying is the one that needs to see results. I've seen so many what I call brands out there that have somebody that knows something about social media. They try to reach out to influencers themselves, but they don't know the management process of it. And so they often go, did I get a return on my dollar or a brand impression? Or did I, like, at the end of the day, it's all up for grabs, right?
Right. Yeah. So to answer your question, like what makes us valuable, in terms of like our whole role in this, back and forth between the brand and the influencer, and did the brand see any results, our ROI? That's the greatest thing that, the reason to have us involved as a management agency, or why people like us in a sense, why are we the best? Because we're super transparent, and that's one of the key things. Us as a company, we're always first and foremost going to give our brands or agency partners the stats. And that's what's beautiful about social media, advertising and marketing, influencer marketing, is that all the statistics are available, at the touch of the screen. Every platform, Instagram and whatnot, has these amazing dashboards that every individual, who's got an account can access. And so as an influencer, all I have to do is ask my influencer who did the campaign, hey, can I get the screenshots of the data behind there? And then we give that to our clients.
Nice.
So we can talk about all the impressions that are garnered, the reach, the comments. We can look at all that together. But we just, transparency, first and foremost, and we make it easy. We're very professional. We're not somebody who's going to sit there and haggle and make somebody feel bad and guilt people into the deal and things like that. It's just, I think that we've earned ourselves a reputation of being like the easiest.
You're not the douchiness of management companies, right?
Yeah.
let's call it what it is, right? I met a lot. And I've never been impressed by them. So, I've had to turn down deals because of that, to be honest. But look, Kyle, I really appreciate your time here. I know your time is valuable. I want to say congratulations on your recent marriage, which I did see on social media. Yes, I stalked you before the show. Congratulations on that, because I feel that, when you have success in your personal life, and I mean, when you can totally, what I call, you said something at the very beginning that I so value right now. It's like she made you a better human being, and at the same time you're helping each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate that, and thank you, Aaron. It's very true. If you listen to the people around you who have your back, it's like a lot of us think that we can make our own way, or we've got all the right answers, but there's so many times that if I just listen to my wife, I'm 2 years ahead of where I am today.
Hey, sometimes the ladies know more than us gents, but sometimes we know. Look, I like it when it's a good, even exchange of encouragement, right? I'm sure you bring a lot to the table to her as well. I mean, after all, you did help her, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's that even exchange. It's really trusting in each other.
I love it. Yes. Keep that up. All right, Kyle, I know we've run out of time. We went a little bit longer than we wanted, but thank you for the healthy discussion. If you're a business looking for a better awareness or brand awareness, or just getting stuff sold, you definitely got to check it out. It's G&B Digital Management. Kyle there with us. Kyle, thanks for spending time with us here on The Morning Show.
Thanks again, Aaron. Take care.
gb-dm.com. If you're an influencer, you got to know somebody to get in. And so there you go. Here's the reality. Go check it out. You can send a message. They actually have a 75% referral rate from other people that they've worked with. That's a pretty high rate, a 75% referral rate. So go check it out. They're obviously doing something right. We have to take a huge break. We'll be right back right after these messages. We got to pay some bills here at the radio station. We'll be right back.